Hey friends, what's up? How's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. Armani, they wouldn't do something like take last year's Acqua di Gio and already completely overhaul that and reformulate it and put it into different bottles or anything, would they? Yeah, they would. Yeah, that's right. Acqua di Gio Parfum, last year's 2023's Acqua di Gio release, has been apparently changed already, and we're going to talk about that. A new presentation, a new reformulation, but without really any kind of announcement. So I went ahead and scooped up this new Acqua di Gio Parfum 2024, and I've been giving it some wear, and today I'm gonna let you guys know my thoughts. Now I have Acqua di Gio Parfum linked in the description. I guess both the 2023 and 2024 editions. And if you're watching this far into the future, then I guess probably all of them are 2024 since 2023 edition is gonna be being phased out, obviously. Oh man. There's just like so much stuff going on with Armani's lines right now where you're just like, are you guys done? Or you just want to keep screwing with it? Yeah, maybe if you keep messing with it, that'll just fix everything, make it just tip-top magoo. So as I said, Acqua di Gio Parfum, that came out last year, 2023. That was the big Acqua di Gio release of the year. But now we have this one, the 2024 edition. So I guess first let's talk about how you can tell which is which, other than just like looking at the badge code and things like that. So on the old version of Acqua di Gio Parfum, which is weird to say, the old version, you know, the one that came out last year, so old, dude, ancient. That one came in a 2.5 ounce and 4.2 ounce size as far as the, I guess we'll call them average sizes. You know, the equivalent to a 50 or 100 mil. Which is what they come in now. Yeah. So the old one, 2.5 ounce or 4.2 ounce. The new one, 1.6/1.7 ounce and 3.3/3.4. So if you translate that into milliliters, the old one, 75 and 125. The new one, 50 and 100. And also you'll notice here, this is the 2024, this is the 2023, that it just says Parfum. And then on this one, at the bottom, it says Giorgio Armani with Parfum above it. So you'll see it says Giorgio Armani right there on the 2023. And on my 2024, it says Giorgio Armani at the bottom. And I found this new one at Dillard's. So that's where I got mine. Full retail, not at discounters yet, at least that I could see. Now let's talk real quick pricing as well. So the 2023 that came in the 75 or 125 mil, at full retail, that is $160 for the 75 and then $198 for the 125. And the new one, the 50 mil, is $130. The 100 mil is $175. So the bottle got smaller, the pricing got a little bit smaller as well. But if you factor it out in terms of price per milliliter, it's actually cheaper with the old edition. One other difference, and after this, we'll start taking a closer look at the presentation overall, but one other difference is this one, the 2023, not a magnetic cap. The new one is a magnetic cap. So that's nice to see that they at least give us a little upgrade with the magnetic cap. And it is the type that when you spin it, it pops up and rights itself. So that's nice. Makes it feel a little bit higher end, a little bit nicer, because for sure this older cap does not. All right, let's really quickly take a look at the full presentation. So if you buy this, you know exactly how it's gonna come. And then we'll start talking about the differences here. So here is the box. It's pretty simple, pretty plain. They've pretty much done this across the entire Acqua di Gio line at this point. Very basic. On the front, you have the name of the house, name of the fragrance, size, and concentration. Again, 100 mil, and Parfum is the concentration. Little Giorgio Armani logo up on top of the box. On one side, you have your typical jumble of words in different languages, which just looks like the Rosetta Stone when you take a look at it. It says, refillable exclusively with Acqua di Gio Parfum. Don't rinse the bottle with water. Thanks. That's great to know. Then on the other side, you have a QR code and you have basically just a little picture letting you know that you can indeed refill this bottle if you want to. On the back, you have your ingredients, you have your barcode, and on the bottom, your batch code. Mine is 38X9009. And here is the bottle. So I showed you before a couple of those differences as far as just like the placement of where Giorgio Armani is on the bottle. It is a matte finish, matte gradient finish, very similar to the old one. There does appear to be an extremely slight difference between the two in terms of texture in your hand, but it's not really massively different. I would say that the 2023 edition of Parfum feels smoother to the touch, and that the new 2024 has a little more of a tactile feel to it. Not much of a difference, and honestly, it doesn't matter at all, but it is still a slight difference. So you have that magnetic cap, works really well. Pops right on there. You have the Giorgio Armani logo on top of the cap. On the front, Acqua di Gio Parfum, Giorgio Armani, all right there. On the bottom, you have a sticker that has your batch code. You also have a GA for Giorgio Armani on top of the atomizer. You know what time it is. It's time to share a couple sprays. There we go, atomizers are okay. You know, these Acqua di Gio atomizers, they're always decent, but never amazing. Maybe they should give us those pressurized atomizers, you know, a little more push. All right, let's start talking Acqua di Gio. Like I mentioned before, I would imagine that as time goes on, this is going to replace this at pretty much every store. So, you know, your Macy's, your Sephora's, stuff like that. These larger size bottles, the 2.5 ounce, 4.2 ounce, are gonna be going away, and then these are gonna be stepping in to fill that void, which means, kind of like with Profundo, where they're pulling out the new Profundo Eau de Parfum, if you really love the old Profundo Eau de Parfum, you should scoop that up. Same thing going on here. If you are in love with this edition of Acqua di Gio Parfum, I'd probably go ahead and scoop up a backup bottle or two, however many you need. And the funny thing about this is, I had talked about in, I think the Profundo Parfum video, where it just felt like Acqua di Gio's line was kind of all over the place, because you had, you know, the Acqua di Gio Profundo bottles in a certain size, but then these Parfum bottles in a different size, and like other bottles in different sizes, and they're coming out with like a new 2024 edition of Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum and a new 2024 of Profundo, and it's just kind of, just a lot of stuff going on, a lot of moving parts. And here we have yet another one. So at the time I had talked about that, I didn't know that this was gonna be a thing, and here we go. So Parfum, this one essentially came out as a replacement to this Acqua di Gio Profumo, which you can kind of tell just by taking a look at the bottles, right? I mean, color scheme and everything, you can tell. And this is pretty similar to Profumo, not the same, not the same. There are definite differences between the two, but you could basically view this as being the replacement to that, at least from Giorgio Armani's perspective. But there were some things that were different enough between the two where a lot of people, you know, preferred this one. And one of the biggest differences is incense. There's more of that going on in Profumo than there is 2023 Acqua di Gio Parfum. I just love that. I love that every time that I talk about one of these fragrances, I have to now designate the year. It's like everything has turned into Dior Homme 2020. Acqua di Gio Profundo 2023. Oh, I mean 2024. I mean, Profundo didn't come out in 2023, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah, that was the biggest difference between these two, that incense, or lack of it, in the Parfum. So where does the new one fall? Is it actually just really basically this one, or is it different enough where you can tell? Well, yeah, it's definitely been reformulated. I can tell you that much. It is truly mind-boggling to me that they came out with this and within a year went, nah, actually, let's redo that again. You really let it take hold, didn't you? So this is a one and done, honestly. Acqua di Gio Parfum 2023, 1 year. That's how long this formula was out there before they were like, let's tweak that. It is apparent when you spray this one on, especially if you do it side by side compared to this one, that there are differences. It is not the exact same. And I don't think it's very difficult to tell that at all. I actually sprayed these on, had my wife check them out, and I was like, do they smell the same to you, different? And she was like, oh, they're definitely different, not the same. She said they were similar, but definitely different. And I think that is indeed the case. So some of the bigger differences between the two. In the new Acqua di Gio Parfum, it has more of that incense again. So it's bringing it a little bit closer to what Profumo did, and it moves away from this one a little bit. There's more depth, a little bit more heft, a little more heaviness to this new iteration of Parfum compared to the 2023. 2023 has a little more of an aromatic feel to it. So that mid, the rosemary, the clary sage, the geranium, comes out a little bit more in 2023 Acqua di Gio Parfum. Like, I'm wearing them both right now, actually, spray them on at the same time. And I would say that this one, the 2023, maybe a little fresher, actually, a tinge more sweetness compared to the 2024. The 2024, noticeably more of the incense, like I said, a little bit darker, again, more in line with Profumo. And you get a little more of that almost woody patchouli coming out in the 2024 edition of Acqua di Gio Parfum. I actually haven't even bothered to smell these on tester strips. I've just been wearing them on skin and comparing them. Off tester strips, they're a little bit closer. That's not really a good judge of these, honestly. That doesn't smell super close to how it comes off on skin. Neither does that. Tester strips. I mean, they have their use, but still. Like, you can spray this on fresh. Spray this one on fresh as well. They're both super pleasant off the top, like you would expect from an Acqua di Gio. Aquatic, very fresh, very lively. This one still, 2023, slightly sweeter to me, whereas the 2024 leans a little more heavily into the marine aspect off the top. Then as it dries down, it starts taking on those slightly heavier aspects. I really like Acqua di Gio Parfum 2023. I mean, Profundo is my favorite, right? But I still really enjoy this, really enjoy this. I do think that if you were more a fan of Acqua di Gio Profumo than Parfum 2023, that you'll like this more, or at least more than 2023. Because again, it kind of brings it back over here a little bit, but it doesn't fully abandon what was done with 2023. It kind of splits the difference in a way. I feel like they were trying to go, okay, let's take the best parts of this and the best parts of this, and let's try to do something with that, you know, put those together. That's kind of how it comes across. In terms of performance, this lasts longer than 2023 for me, and it projects more, which probably makes sense, you know, based off the things I've already said here, that it has a little more heft to it, a little more body, a little more of that incense coming through, and doesn't lean a little bit toward that sweet side, which this is not a sweet fragrance, but when you compare them, this has a little more than this. So yeah, performance-wise, this new 2024 is outperforming for me the 2023. Like I said, spray them on at the same time. This is pushing a little bit more, lasting a little bit longer. And so if you had some maybe bad experiences with 2023, it wasn't up to your expectations as far as performance goes for a Parfum, this one may be a bit better for you because it's better for me. And even though this may have a little more of that incense, a little bit more of that woodiness that comes out as compared to the 2023, it still is an Acqua di Gio at the end of the day. So that means spring, summer, fall, probably gonna be the sweet spot for this one for most people. Daytime or evening, and it would make a better evening fragrance than pretty much all the other Acqua di Gios, really, when you start to think about it, the ones that are still out anyway that you can readily find. It's also a perfect transitional fragrance from daytime into evening. It's one of those ones that you could wear, you know, in the morning, spray it on through the day if you wanted, you know, refresh or something like that, and it's gonna work just as well in the evening. So you have that versatility, you have that complement factor that you would expect from an Acqua di Gio, and overall, you know, just wearing it again side by side a few times now versus this one, I think I'm going the new one. 2024, the year of Acqua di Gio, slightly tweaking everything. For the hardcore lovers of Profumo, you know, nothing is Profumo except Profumo, I guess, but I feel this is gonna get a lot closer to scratching that itch for you. Now, obviously, this has not hit discounters yet, at least not that I've seen. I would expect that it will sometime in the next few months or something like that. As of this video, Acqua di Gio Parfum 2023 at discounters for a 75 ml is gonna run you about 95, 96 bucks. And then you can get the larger size for like 119, 120, somewhere around there. Which I know that sounds really expensive. Oh, 120, I mean, that's a lot of money. It is, but that's also $78 less than retail because it's pretty pricey at retail. So if that pricing would hold as far as like that type of discount, then I would expect for the 50 ml of the new one, once it hits discounters and has maybe been there for just a little while, to be around 75, 80 bucks for a 50 ml. And then maybe like 105, 110, something like that for a 100 ml. Again, that's just kind of ballpark figures based off of what this one is going for the larger size bottle. So that's probably around about where this is gonna land here in the next 4, 5, 6 months, I would guess. So that means we have a new Acqua di Gio Eau de Toilette for this year, which I haven't smelled that one yet. A new Acqua di Gio Eau de Parfum, a new Acqua di Gio Profundo, a new Acqua di Gio Parfum. Is that all? Is that all the ones? They got no more to bring out, right? Because they killed off a lot of them. And then of course the new Profundo Parfum, which I've been wearing that one. I did the first impressions on it, and first impressions were kind of so-so. I still prefer the Eau de Parfum, but I'll do maybe a review on that one as I wear that through the summer a little bit and everything. So there we go, the new Parfum edition of Acqua di Gio. Obviously a huge step up in terms of presentation because the cap now has a magnet. But these slight tweaks, these slight changes for me are for the better. So go ahead, check this one out if you have like a store nearby that's carrying this one. And if you're a massive fan of Profumo, I would check this one out as well. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I will see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.